All right, here we go. Welcome to episode number 17 of the Soul Rollers podcast. My name is Jackson Gage, and I'm here with William Dennis. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We took 2 weeks off due to an injury that William had, and we'll get into that. He got a concussion, and we'll talk about the details of that and how to maybe, I don't know if you can prevent it, but we'll go into that. We got a good question from somebody who was listening, and actually got a couple of good questions. And first off, just thanks to everybody who's been listening to the podcast as we put it out. We appreciate it. We're doing this as a service to anybody that maybe be able to get some value from it. So letting us know that you're listening to it or you got something out of it, lets us know that our message is being felt or heard. So we appreciate that. Want to give a quick couple of shout outs to a couple of people who've been listening or who have asked questions. The first one is Brandon Gonzalez in Fresno. He's a blue belt at Pacific Martial Arts. Great dude. He owns or he's co-owner of a real estate company called Iron Key Real Estate in Fresno. And I bought a house from him back in the day when I was a cop. Great dude. Used to play football at Fresno State. And he's been listening. So we appreciate that, Brandon. And if you guys are looking to buy a house in Fresno and you do jiu-jitsu, hit him up. Even if you don't do jiu-jitsu, hit him up. Great dude. Shout out to Steve, training partner. Been coming every Tuesday and doing, we've been drilling for a couple hours, and I'm getting a lot of value out of that. So if, make sure you're always grateful for your training partners, because they're the ones that are getting you better. And who else was it? Oh, Adam has a really good question that I've kind of tossed around in my mind, and we can get into that. So, and Adam's been listening. He trains there at Stronghold. So Adam, thank you, man. Thanks for the question. Thanks for listening. And so we can get this thing going. I think first and foremost, we can talk about some of these strange injuries and dehydrations and shit we've been having going on, man, that we need to watch for. If you can lead that if you want, William. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks. We couldn't record the last 2 weeks because William has sustained a blow to the brain, to the head, and he's been kind of out of it. We haven't been able to communicate really. And talk us through that a little bit, what you felt and what you learned from it.
Yeah, a couple of weeks back, training was rolling, and it wasn't, anything aggressive or anything out of hand. Just working in half guard and coming up, kind of working, through half guard. And just as I was coming up, my training partner was bringing his arm around to kind of, do whatever he was going to do. And I ended up catching his elbow right behind my right ear, just in the back of the head. And it was pretty good elbow, but I'm like, no biggie. I didn't really think much of it. I just kind of like, I had my eyes closed. I didn't think I went unconscious or anything, but I did take a good crack in the dome. And I'm like, I just kept rolling, like, whatever. You get conked in the head here and there, but it's usually, I think it was just the elbow and just the right spot and the right, impact. But really, after the training, the spot was bruised where I got hit. Like there was an actual, like a bruise, but you're bruised everywhere most of the time in jiu-jitsu. So I was like, I just took a good crack, and it was just a bruise and sensitive spot on my head from where I got cracked. Maybe it not, I didn't think anything of it, but it was like delayed 2 days. Cause that was like a Thursday, I think. And it wasn't until Sunday that the symptoms really showed up. So I just felt exhausted, super tired. I'm like, man, what the heck? And I had a headache, and I never have headaches. So I'm like, well, this is weird. And then Monday, when I woke up, it felt like I hadn't slept at all. And I'm like, geez, man, I'm really feeling weird. This is strange. I feel off. And I realized, I'm like, man, what if it was that elbow? I didn't really think anything of it or make that much of it. But what if I got a concussion? I know a couple of guys, who were training for competitions had, got cracked in the head, a few times here and there. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen here and there. And I'm like, I was kind of thinking and kind of running through how I was feeling. And it seemed like, had like my brain was just really foggy and kind of like lethargic. Like I just couldn't really think like long thoughts, or, it was just really slow and sluggish. And I was very nauseous. My stomach was nauseous, and sensitive to light. Like just bright lights were just kind of like make my eyes want to squint. And it was just really off. I'm like, man, what is going on with me? And that's when I got a hold of my coach and kind of a couple guys that had experienced the same thing. And they're like, yeah, it sounds like a concussion, man. And I'm like, crap. So I just went through it the last 2 weeks, where even now I still have like a slight headache. And if I'm too active, I'll start feeling nauseous. And I went and got a CT scan this week, and, it came back clear. So I'm good. Like there's no like really like long-term damage, but my brain was still injured according to the doctor. He's like, look, even though it's not like showing up on the scan anymore, like right now, doesn't mean it's still not injured. You got to let your brain recover still. So you can't rush back too quickly. So for me, it was just, even on the polos, like I couldn't get through like your whole message. I'd have to listen to it in like 3 or 4 second clips, because it was just too much information coming into my brain. And my brain was like, no, hold on. Like I can't think about all this stuff. Stop talking. And so I'd have to like turn it off and wait, and then try to listen to it again. And I just could not get enough rest, nothing.
I want to just throw in there how much so when he says polo, he's talking about the app Marco Polo, which is we found is a really good way to communicate back and forth. It's video messaging. You can watch it live or you can watch it later, but we communicate throughout the day, every day through that Marco Polo. You get a chance, you leave a response, and then you go about your day. You come back, William has left a response, and then you're kind of going back and forth. And with this fucking concussion you got, it fucked up my flow too, man. I want to tell you how much I appreciate your communication, man, because I'm, I like communicating with you throughout the day. And I'm like, this motherfucker's not responding. God damn it. Fuck your concussion, bro. Get on there and respond to what I'm telling you. I got 25 Marco Polos fucking, saved up. Now you got to listen to 2 hours of me talking and shit, man. So, but that's you notice those little things like, damn, we communicate a lot, man. We have a lot of valuable communication daily. And when you're not able to get that, it's you can see the difference. So yeah, man, grateful for your communication. I'm glad you're feeling better, man.
Yeah,
So
I definitely, it brought me a lot of awareness to like, our health and how we take care of ourselves, our bodies and our brains, because man, I didn't realize just how on point my brain is all the time to go as fast as it does, to do jujitsu like it allows me to do that, my brain and my body, and to communicate and to just go throughout my day to day. My brain is doing a lot. And so what this is really teaching me, which I'm not good at, is like active rest, like really taking time to rest, take naps, take whatever your body needs. Really give yourself like a day off here and there and rest your body, because your brain is doing a lot. I mean, I'm reading all the time. I'm studying all the time. I'm, going to jujitsu. I'm, doing all these life required acts, so to speak. And you never take the time to really notice just how much your brain does until you can't use it properly. And you're like, oh my gosh, like it was very frustrating, because I couldn't do what I normally do. I couldn't get up and move around. I would start getting sick. My brain would start hurting, like my head would start hurting. And it was really like, it was a very vulnerable state, because I was really at the mercy of just having to sit there and rest. I couldn't get up.
now, so for one, do you think it's something that maybe could have been avoided during the roll, or it was just one of those like freak little deals where you just caught an elbow?
Yeah, I think it was just a complete and utter oops. Like it just happens. I don't think he was being reckless. I don't think I was being reckless or spazzy. It just is kind of part of the game. You're physically training. I don't think it's any different than any other physical activity. You could trip and fall, walk into the donut shop and
Yeah,
and,
good.
and get a concussion. But it's just one of those freak accidents.
Will you consider like a biking helmet for when you roll?
Yeah, that would be nice, right? You could just without having to like worry about your own like care, like hey, you crack people's elbows, you just be smashing people with your head,
Yeah.
just ramming that into their jaw. They'd be like, ah man, they'd be tapping like crazy. Like, hey,
Sorry, I gotta wear it.
concussion, I gotta wear it. So just go ahead and tap to my pressure.
Oh shit. You could create a whole new sport. You could create helmet jujitsu, man. That's a whole nother level where you can use your head to
The
fucking
motorcycle
ram
helmet, full face, everything.
Oh shit. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're feeling better, man. So you mainly just had to rest and everything, right? So
Yeah, and I
so
still can't.
that's a good message to just put out to people listening, is because as we were talking, as throughout this 2 weeks, you had mentioned, and I was reflecting on it as well, on something I'll go into in a minute with dehydration and shit. But you were saying how this is reminding you and showing you that you really need to take rest into more consideration than you have, especially, training so much. And we get so addicted to going into jujitsu and training and, fuck, I want to go tomorrow. Maybe I'll go twice. Let me keep going, because you want to learn. And, the more you go, the more you're going to learn, the better fit shape you get in, the better your gas tank gets, showing up every day does a lot for your game and for your life. And even when we get hurt, we're like, fuck it, I'm going to go anyway. And that can be super detrimental, to you. So it's good to rest, man. And how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I believe it, and I've got a lot of encouragement from the guys like D and Tom. He reached out to me, and he's listened to the podcast too. So shout out to him.
Tom Williams.
Yeah.
Tom, what's up, Tom? D, what's up, D? Hopefully you get to watch you competing on Sunday, man. I'm here
Yeah.
in Fresno, so I'm trying to go watch.
Yeah, and just coach, he checked on me. Everything, the guys are checking on you, and means a lot. But they're also reminding you, like, hey, take your time. You don't have to rush back. Jiu-jitsu is always going to be here. You got to take care of your health. It's like, yeah, you're right. So it's just, it's awareness, right? We're here the longevity is what matters, not like, well, I got in 3 hours of training today. It's like, well, yeah, but you should rest.
Yeah, rest is important. And
Take care of our
so
asset, right? Our brain is an asset.
that's a huge asset. Our body, our freaking temple. We're not doing shit without this. So especially as we move up, as our time on earth, expands, we need to really zero in on taking care of ourselves, man. That's been huge. Like, that's huge. The beautiful thing about it is, I just realized I say that fucking phrase a lot. The beautiful thing about it is, that's why I say that more often than anything. So the beautiful thing about it is that the jujitsu will, if I wasn't doing jujitsu, I wouldn't be so aware of my body. I wouldn't care as much about my fitness. I wouldn't care as much about hydrating. I wouldn't care as much about my bones and my joints and shit as I do right now. I really care about that shit. I'm treating it like a fucking Lamborghini. I'm treating my body like a really nice vehicle, man, better than I've treated any car in my life. And this is the best I've treated myself, my body, ever in my lifetime, because of jujitsu. And but as we go along, things come up. And one thing that I was going to share, and I told you, is um dehydration. I got dehydrated pretty bad recently, and it happened within a couple weeks. And man, I'm doing all this shit, but I'm not drinking enough water. I'm drinking boba and coffee and shit, and not thinking about water. I don't know if I wasn't thirsty. I don't drink anything. I don't drink soda or any of this, or juice or anything, but I do drink boba after training, and I drink coffee in the morning and a little water. But yeah, like three weeks ago, I had like some blood in my piss and shit, man. And I was like, what the fuck? I peed, and I'm like, one of the fucking drops it was like pink. I was like, what the fuck? I started going nuts in my head, right? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna die within a couple weeks. Fuck, you know? And so I started, thinking about my will and all that shit. And then I started researching, and I researched everything, and what I came down to is, fuck, you're sweating like a motherfucker every night at jujitsu, and you're not fucking replenishing that, and that's bad, because you can kill your kidneys. And then within that time, I started drinking more and talked to my doctor, and we came to the conclusion it was dehydration now. But I also had some blood work done, and the kidney level, like the level of my kidney in the past 6 months, had shot way down to where it shouldn't be. And that too, I saw that number. I was like, fuck, I really am. I'm fucking dying. I'm dying soon. Fuck, I am dying fucking pretty soon. God damn it. And so I'm laying there all night thinking about that shit. And then I had to change my mindset. But I realized the night before, So the night before my blood test, I sweat probably more than I ever did at that fucking training. And I was feeling like shit. I almost didn't go to class because I was dehydrated. I told my buddy Sonny, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go. I have a headache. I'm dehydrated. But I went anyway. And I remember laying there after training in a fucking puddle of just sweat, like a puddle. A kid could come play in that motherfucker in galoshes. It was an actual puddle of sweat, like a thick puddle. Like I was embarrassed of it. Like that, I'm like, don't step over there, mother. That's a huge puddle of my sweat, man. I apologize, and, and then also I had incorporated sauna within that week. So I'm doing sauna in the morning with weights and then training at night, jujitsu, sweating like a motherfucker and not drinking enough water. And I'm lucky I went and got that blood test, man, because it reminded me like, bro, you got to be drinking like 120 ounces a day. You get these big ass things. You got to be drinking like 2 or 3 of these motherfuckers or else you could die, you can fucking die. And I was feeling like shit. I had a headache. I couldn't, that night I trained. I was just, I felt horrible. My body was hurting and I didn't realize why. But anyhow, within all that, the beauty of it, like I said, is jujitsu shines a light on all this stuff. And even something as simple as like making sure you drink a fuck ton of water every day, get some water in a big jug and keep it with you and just drink it. And now this past week since then, I've been drinking the fuck out of this water. And bro, I feel like $1,000,000, man. I feel good. My skin looks better. My fucking muscles are goddamn inflating and shit. I feel all swole. Like, and I slept better. I feel like I have energy, and it's just from drinking water, man. So anyhow, it sounds kind of like some common sense shit, but sometimes we forget to drink water and we almost die, and fucking, happened to me. So anyhow, that's that. So that's my story of near death because of jiu-jitsu in the past few weeks. And since we both almost died from jiu-jitsu in the past month, that was a good, like, that's funny. We both have a story of almost dying recently. So anyhow, I think it's a good time to go. If you want, we can go into that question that the dude had.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you said, being aware, taking care of our bodies, take care of minds, just hold each other accountable. If you're listening to this, hold your buddies accountable. Make sure they're drinking water. Make sure if they're injured, they're not rushing back. The joke is like, oh, just put some tape on it, we're good. But like make sure we're taking care of each other. And all the guys have supported me and encouraged me to take my time coming back. Coach is really great about it. So yeah, man, I'll make sure you're drinking water and make sure I'm on, I always try to drink more than a gallon a day. Like I try to drink a gallon of water a day. Yeah, that's my goal.
Yeah. Well, how many ounces in a gallon?
I think it's like 130 or something like that, 132 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's about the number. That's a lot, but we should be drinking like 120, 130 ounces of water per day, especially training, so
having a jug like that, a specific one you carry around all the time, I get in the habit. I just drink so much water. I'm just always drinking water.
Yeah, so it's important, man.
Yeah.
So now while we're at it, I'm gonna pull up this
read that question.
I'm gonna change this up. I'm gonna pull this up real quick because it's a pretty good question, man. From Adam. Let me find it really fast here. Adam, where you at, man? There you are. Okay, Adam Eppinger. Adam, thank you for the question. We appreciate questions. If anybody has any questions, make sure you hit us up at the Will Dennis or at the Increaselife. Like, we want to answer motherfucking questions. This it gives us content. It gives us something to do. It gives us something to think about, and it gives us a way to help out somebody who's listening. Who's doing jiu-jitsu. If you have a question, we don't have. We have answers from our level. We don't have all the fucking answers about jiu-jitsu, but as far as who we are and where we are on our journey, we have some answers in this motherfucker, so ask us.
To people that do have good answers too. I mean, I know I could ask my coach, and if you don't want us here, we won't, but we can still answer it. We'll keep you anonymous if you want, whatever. So.
Oh yeah, fuck Adam. I didn't keep you anonymous on this one. I did not even ask you if I could say your name. Fuck, sorry, man. I apologize for that.
Forgiveness,
where the fuck is it though? Okay. Well, it's not loading because of the jacked up. Anyhow, we'll get back to that in a second because it's not wanting to load right now. Actually, I can just ask the question. I can go over it because I'm not able to pull it up right now. It's just doing that thing where it loads. But anyhow, so what Adam was asking was, what is our view on people who, because we
I have
talked.
it pulled up if you want.
What's that?
I have it if you want.
Well, what do you have?
The
Oh yeah, okay, good. I sent you the picture of it.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, ask there you go. Yeah, because mine's not coming up.
It just says one thing I don't have any insight into is the people who do a lot of training and still end up beating their wives or whatever. That happens a fair bit in MMA. With BJJ, I wonder how many people take being their nail and then look to be the hammer somewhere else. That has not been me, so not sure. I don't think it is you either, but I would be interested in your thoughts. Maybe you guys could talk about this on the podcast. It's hard work using it to improve ourselves, and there's another path. Just something rattling around. I don't understand. Thought you may have some thoughts. I think that's the gist of it.
Okay, yeah. So basically, if jiu-jitsu is helping us to be better people, what do we think about the people who come into jiu-jitsu and then they still go out afterward and beat their wife and shit?
What I get from that question, it seems like he's saying like there's still some, like in MMA, like there's been, of course there's more eyes on MMA. It's more, you know, on the news. So when someone messes up in MMA, it's on the news and you see it pretty frequently,
Yeah.
Big picture, I don't know like the percentage of fighters who actually, commit that, but just like anything, if more eyeballs are on it, it seems more prominent, but I think overall what he's saying is, does it, if you're going and having a hard time, maybe the ego is kind of getting to you because you're losing a lot in, rolls or jujitsu, and then do you go home and feel kind of more empowered or, more powerful over other people and kind of take that out and be the hammer there, something like that. Maybe that's what he's seeing in MMA where, some of that domestic violence is more prevalent, something like that. That's what I was kind of getting out of it. What do you think?
Yeah, somewhat. Like you said at the end, it's hard work trying to better ourselves, and I kind of took that he was saying, and we can clarify this later, Adam, now that I freaking put you on blast with the question, but oh well. You can beat my ass at practice, or you can try, motherfucker. Sorry, make myself laugh. But I think what he was saying is, if jiu-jitsu, to me, what I took from it, and we can answer it both ways, but I think what he was saying was, if jiu-jitsu does so much for us through personal growth and makes us better people, why are there still guys who fucking, go home and take it out, and still like beat their significant other's ass and stuff like that, and we can answer both of those questions. What comes to mind for me right away with that, now that I'm saying it, is if we go, for me, I go to jujitsu continuously to be a better person regularly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go to jujitsu once and then like, oh, I'm a better person. I'm good now. Fuck, I went once to jujitsu, nothing is wrong, and I don't have any anger, and I don't have any demons. That's a constant. That's a daily battle. That's a daily battle. Like, the demons are there, man. So we show up to, back them off. It's like you got a flamethrower, you got your sword, and they're at the fucking gate, and you're swinging your goddamn. Did you go to jiu-jitsu class? That's the equivalent of you fucking swinging your sword at the demons for a while, back them off, and then you leave class, and the motherfuckers start creeping back up with their arrows and the shadows and their ninja suits and shit. They're still creeping up, and then you got to get your next weapon the next day, and figure out. You go to class and you battle your demons again, and it's a continuous process. So there could be, there's guys that train MMA or jiu-jitsu that have been fighting they come from all kind of backgrounds, and they may have seen domestic violence in their life, like you had mentioned, and maybe they are battling their demons with martial arts, but those demons are still there when they leave. And it just looks a lot worse when someone who's a trained fighter takes their fucking anger out on some woman who's cheating on him or something. You know what I mean? Because he can do a lot more damage. But I don't think that it's the cure all. Just going once. We're continually trying to be better people on a regular basis every day. You know, so I don't know what your insight is into that or what you think about that.
Yeah, I think I mean, it's a complex issue. I mean, there's mental health issues, from training and fighting. Maybe there's mental health issues from past experiences, whether it's childhood, their lifestyle, their environment. I don't know. There's so much that could be a factor. I know that I grew up in domestic violence. I witnessed it on a daily basis. I was a cop, so I saw it in that frame as well. And then I've experienced PTSD, and I think like anything like therapy or jujitsu or, personal development, it's all a different path to your self-mastery, to your self-discovery and working out your past traumas. And people handle those in different ways. They handle this human condition, this human experience in different, forms and fashions. And they're limited on their choices sometimes when they don't have therapy, they don't have a support system. And that's the route they choose. I've seen that in every form imaginable, like, football players or, in religious, settings. And there's abuse in all forms when it comes to humans. So it'd be a really hard, look at, the human condition, not so much, martial arts or MMA. It would be more of like, okay, humans, and it could be, medicine at the wrong, even medicine at the wrong dose, it becomes poison. So when you look at, you know, like knowledge, how I apply it, knowledge itself is amoral, just like money or anything like martial arts. It's just a form and an experience. How we use it and how we apply it in our lives is what matters. And it's a magnifier of who we are as a person. So I could be a dickhead and have a lot of money, and I'll just be a dickhead with a lot of money. The money doesn't make me a dickhead. Same thing with martial arts. I could be an asshole and just be an arrogant asshole that's abusive to people, but be very trained and skilled at doing so. Or, I could be someone that's a very nice guy and just be very trained in martial arts and still be a nice guy. It's not necessarily anything to do with the martial art. It's more to do with the human beings.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. That's a good point. Just like I think maybe the people who would listen to a podcast about jujitsu and self mastery, these are the people. This is not everybody who does jujitsu. These are the people who are doing jujitsu to better themselves. Like they're on the path of self mastery in many areas of their life. These are these aren't the people who are going in there to learn how to maybe, but it maybe not. Like there's different groups of people, different niches of people, and we just happen to be a certain group of people who are I would say on a spiritual path of growth, man. So you know everybody's different. There's people who go to jiu-jitsu and their focus is being a fucking cage fighter and he may be an angry motherfucker who just wants to fight every time he steps out of the gym. you know that's not who we are, that's not who we represent, and that's probably not who we speak to if he's not looking for the growth. But he's on his own path, and we're all on different paths. But that was good what you said. Too much, what was it about the medicine? Too much medicine or some shit
Medicine at
becomes
the wrong
poison.
dose becomes poison. Yeah.
Yeah, medicine at the wrong dose becomes poison, of course.
So
And
yeah,
unless it's marijuana, then you can take as much as you want and it'll never be poison. It'll always be good. So, but that's the only medicine. Ayahuasca at the wrong dose will fuck you up too, man. But there's no wrong dose of that either. So, um, but yeah, no, medicine at the wrong dose. Yeah, I like that, man. Becomes poison. Um,
but that comes in every area of your life. Just because you do jujitsu, it's not going to solve your personal problems. So I don't want anyone to think like what we're sharing about how jujitsu is amazing. It is amazing, and it is wonderful, and it is a community, and it's a support system, and it's a discipline that really reveals a lot about yourself to yourself. Same thing with competing in the competition I went to. It really showed me how I doubt myself a lot, and it showed me a lot about myself. in a stressful setting that is like acute stress, not chronic stress. And when you get into settings like that, same thing with like cold plunges or cold baths, it shows you something. Even with a sauna, it shows you something about yourself in an acute setting, like a short-term setting of stress. You get to learn and work through some of your reactivity. And a lot of like domestic violence had to do with a lot of like people that are traumatized, hurt people. So there's a lot of trauma going on, and very little mental health, is not a very aware topic that a lot of people are seeking out help for and working through their stuff. Most people don't, and they just deal with it and they suffer through a lot of trauma in their life and never get help. So this could be a really big awareness, just like on our brain health. Like mental health is huge. Drinking water, taking care of our bodies, there's a lot of awareness there. Same thing with seeking help and support, professionally if you need it. I've had therapy since 2011. That's 10 years. That's a decade of my life I've been going to a psychologist,
Yeah.
and I needed it. I've needed the help and the support, not alone. On top of that, I've done a lot of coaching and a lot of work on myself, through that realm to get more help and more support, and then building a support system of brothers like you and other friends I have that support me through my challenges, because that gives me more outlets to vent and to share and to work through my shit. Because as human beings, that's one thing you can guarantee. We've got a lot of shit to work through, right? And you don't do it alone, and you don't put yourself in a situation where, violence is the only answer.
Yeah.
Sad. It's true.
Yeah. That's true, man. And yeah, that's a whole like domestic violence and all that. That's a whole different topic, man. That's something that's like a whole rabbit hole we could go down to for days, man. Just like
I
you
will
said,
tell you
being
this though. I think I shared like where someone came and the guy was banging on the glass and everything, and I didn't assault him, and I just stayed back and I stayed calm.
yeah,
Jiu-jitsu helped me do that. Jiu-jitsu gave me more options where I didn't have to choose violence.
yeah,
So maybe some of these guys, they didn't feel like they had that choice and they went down that route of abuse and whatever. That would be a very specific circumstance, and it's really hard to talk on that specifically. But in general, I do believe that the humility and the overall like self-awareness, self-mastery, and like just really understanding I've gotten about myself through jiu-jitsu gives me more options,
yeah,
instead of choosing violence or my reactivity, you
yeah.
know
And I mean, if somebody's at the level where they're physically beating up a female, like their girlfriend or something, that's some deep seated fucking junk they got going on inside. That's a lot of work that they got to do. If they're at the level where they're taking out their anger on a defenseless female, like their girlfriend, you got insecurities and darkness, and that's a whole different realm that just going to jujitsu probably not going to cure that. There's a lot of work you got to do if you're at that level. So
and that is, as appalling as that sounds, it's a cry for help as well. So I don't want to paint like a judgment on those people. They're needing help. And so if that you're in that circumstance, whether you're being abused or they're, you're abusing someone, you get help, man. Either way, get help. So
yeah, get help. And if you're in a situation where, if you're in a relationship where you're being controlled that way or you're getting abused, you gotta you gotta find your way out of that as well. You gotta escape some way or another. It's okay. That's not normal. As much as you've seen that in your life and you think it's normal, it's not normal for someone to control you. It's not normal for someone to act like they own you or tell you what to do or ask you where the fuck you are. Or none of that shit is normal. None of that's normal. Freedom is normal. Anything other than being free is not that normal. So, but also, man, if you're beating up a woman, you're fucking. I know William is very empathetic, apathetic, whatever. But if you're if you're beating on a woman, and I got daughters. Luckily, they've been training jujitsu their whole life, so that they'll fuck most males up. But I've seen them do it. But if you're beating up a defenseless female, you're a bitch. You're a bitch. And you said it the nice way, but I just got to say it the plain way. You're a fucking little bitch. I wouldn't, you know, that's if anybody hears this, and if you're getting beat up by somebody, you got to change. You got to get out of that. You got to get out of that situation, because like you said, and we're police officers and we saw a lot of that shit. And for those of you that don't know, one of the most dangerous calls that police officers can go to is domestic violence calls. You got to be, you know, you got to be like on your fucking complete guard, because people lose their mind during those situations. They go nuts, over controlling another person. And it's a crazy subject, but it's a good question, man. It's a good question. And hopefully, you can take that answer and we can go further into it. If you have any more questions, next time I'll be more, I won't put your name out there unless you say it's okay, but I did this time. So, oh well.
And I also think like a note on that is like a lot of times being aggressive and that kind of thing, just like a spazzy white belt, I feel like I was super aggressive when I first started training, because I didn't know how to train properly. And I hope that I've improved as a training partner, with my training partners now. But I remember in the beginning, upper belts can kind of put you in your place and kind of knock you around a little bit to kind of calm you down because you're being really spazzy. And so I think being in a position where you do work like you do with jiu-jitsu, you put in the work and you roll, and you're very active in, working through, active rules, live rules. It could help humble you and calm you down, where you don't choose aggression when you can. I really think that's something like you got to know yourself in very difficult circumstances, and it gives you, the ability to respond instead of react. And so I think a lot of people, maybe they come in very aggressive, but they will get humbled, whether it's by an upper belt, the black belt, whatever it might be. And you'll see that aggression is very limiting. What was that quote I read to you? Like, it's like by Helio Gracie. Remember when I first started chatting, it was like how like,
Oh yeah.
The intelligence can overcome brute strength at times. And me being my size, like knowing that and using jiu-jitsu can allow me to overcome someone's aggression with just, basic jiu-jitsu. And I can just limit their ability to cause me harm. I can defend myself without having to inflict a lot of harm also. And just knowing that and experiencing that, like I've got to know myself outside of aggression, because as a cop, all I knew was anger and aggression. And I had to overcome their force with higher level of force, right?
Yeah.
So I had to go home at night. I had to win. So
Yeah.
when you pull out a knife, I'm going to pull out a gun, so to speak. I'm
Yes,
going to win. And so I had to be willing to take your life before you're willing to take my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a cop. And that was more aggression on top of more aggression. And we just kept upping our aggression towards meeting their resistance in aggression. With jiu-jitsu is you don't meet their resistance with force, like brute force. I think I sent you that meme where that guy has like, he's lifting and all the blood comes out of his nose because he's
Oh yeah.
really heavy. And it's like me trying to escape, like, without technique or something. But
Yeah.
with jiu-jitsu, it's like, no. Like use high intelligence, like you use your ability to use technique to overcome aggression and brute force. So then you begin to see like, wow, there's so much more available to me when I respond with intelligence, with a peaceful mind, with the gentle art, so to speak, with jiu-jitsu. There's so much more available than just reactivity and anger and aggression, because that's just a self-preservation, primal instinctual response to, something happen. There's no like conscious thinking in that, but with jiu-jitsu, it trains you through being in really bad spots, like having someone on top of you and smashing you into the mat. You're like, man, this sucks. What am I going to do to get out of it? And at least, even if you don't succeed the first time, you can go, okay, well, he did this. So, man, how do I get out of side control when someone's holding me down and he's bigger, and you just start chipping away and finding these little answers and these little techniques that can help you and help you and help you. And you get better and better at it. And then you have a very violent situation in front of you, like I did about that guy that was really aggressive, breaking a glass and everything. I never laid a finger on him. I was calm the whole time. I didn't have to be I didn't have to match his aggression. And there's something to be said for that. I really, truly believe that. And I think that question brings that truth out. And it really brings it home for me to show that jiu-jitsu does make a difference in who you are as a human being if you apply it outside of jiu-jitsu. And that's what my coach is always teaching us, is he wants good human beings to come from being his students. He wants you to become a better human being, not just a really good jiu-jitsu player.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man. It's I think we talked about that pretty in depth before, so I don't want to go too far into that, but that's yeah, you just walk about life differently when you're in there, scrapping it up freaking 4 or 5 nights a week,
yeah,
and you're figuring out ways to escape. You're figuring out, you're going head to head with dudes every night multiple times, and you're fighting with them, and then you walk through life with a different calm about you because um you become much more secure and confident in the way you approach life, and that affects everything. You emanate an energy that brings success into your life in a lot of different ways. And because I remember being younger and a lot more insecure, and like as a cop, you're young and you're making all this money and you're carrying a gun and you have a lot of power and you get a big ego. And I had a lot of anger too, man, a lot of anger. And I was always quick to talk shit. I would be, you know, I would I was hoping to get in a fight. As when I was a cop, I was hoping on the shift. I was like I'd get in the car with my partner. I'm not going to name him, but I would want to, not to go beat somebody up. I wasn't trying to just beat people up like people think, but I was hoping somebody would mouth off or throw a punch at me, because then I got to then I get to fight. Then I get to take my aggression out. Then we get to get down. And that's what I was looking for. And now it's like, fuck, I get to do that every night, but I get to get good at it. So now when you're walking around and you see um someone get smart with you or someone's rude to you, and you just take it like, oh, whatever, dude, I love you, man, go ahead. You're just insecure and don't know what you're doing. You can be a dick if you want, but I know in my mind that I'll fuck you up. you know I will fuck your ass up, because I'm getting my ass, I'm fighting guys who know what they're doing every night. I'm fighting trained guys on a nightly basis. So you know, and that's the calm and the confidence that comes with it. So yeah, man, the good shit. Jiu-jitsu's good shit. I love it. I can't wait back. I'm hydrated. I can't wait to get back and freaking train. But it's nice. I'm taking a week off too, man. No training, just drinking a lot of water, resting, no working out, nothing, just resting, reading, some meditation, walking. And we need to do that, especially as we get older and shit, man. So um yeah.
yeah, that's I mean, for me it's like road rage, it's like you can really get upset every time you see people driving just angry. You see angry people. I just see it differently now, just like that guy that I was talking about. He was really angry, and I could have matched his aggression, but I've learned a lot now through jujitsu, and you learn about yourself, and it's all about how you apply it. Because there's the guys that can train every day and still go out and be a dick. You know, it's just who you want to become. Do you want to
That's
be a better
true.
person? And this is a path, just like PTSD has been a path for me. There was a lot of internal aggression and anger just from growing up as a kid, going through, domestic violence like I did, and seeing my parents be alcoholic, drug addicts. There's a lot of pain and confusion and trauma that a kid goes through seeing that. Same thing, you go through a lot of trauma as being a cop. You see horrible things and it traumatizes you as a human being. It hurts. And so it shows up in different areas in different ways of your life if you're not handling it correctly. Jiu-jitsu is therapy, man. It's therapy. It's a church. It's a religion if you wanted to apply it that way, it can be. I know that when I'm having a hard day, maybe me and my wife aren't getting along, whatever's going on in my life, just showing up at jiu-jitsu, like last time I was there, coach was like, "Hey, you good?" I'm like, "No, I'm stressed out." And he just, he's like, "Hey, you're right where you need to be then." I'm like, "You couldn't have said it better." Because it's so
Yeah.
true, man. It's my safe place. Like I can go there. There's no judgment. There's no like, criticism. There's no nothing. Like, and I can be honest and open about what I'm experiencing and what I'm going through. And even if my head's not in it that day, I'll get my butt kicked, but it'll be healthy, and it'll, pull me back into having the flow and the focus on something that's healthy and positive and encouraging, and growing me to be a better human, and letting out some of that angst. And one thing that I learned going there is, your shit, you're still a human being that has issues, and you got to work out your shit. And it's like sometimes you can get this cocky head about you and forget that you're human, and you just get like, man, all these people are jerks and blah blah blah. You can get real aggressive and just kind of caught up in your head. and going there and getting humbled and getting choked and going, oh, dang, like, I got some stuff I can work on, if it's not just your technique in jiu-jitsu, it's also being a better human being, being a better husband, being a better father, being a better, man. And it's like, man, I got some shit to improve on, and knowing that it's okay to improve and work on yourself, and it's okay to suck at times. You can be a dick sometimes. You're like, ah, man, that was a dick move, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah.
it's all about being
It's
a better human. It's life, and we're living it, and self-mastery, and we're trying to learn how to improve ourselves on a daily.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man. Where you go get yeah, that's the it seems like as soon as you get a little bit cocky, man, as soon as you get a little bit cocky, or you think you're getting a little bit better, and this is just talking to jujitsu in general, like you think you're getting a little bit better, the universe just has a way of putting the right training partner with you to humble the fuck out of you, and you're like, fuck, he's not even been doing this like, one night you have a great night, then some guy who's fucking, the other night, my buddy, he's like 130 pounds, literally 130 pounds, and he just fucking worked me, man. I'm like, how the fuck is he holding me down right now? How is he doing this shit? How is he holding? What are you doing, motherfucker? You're beating my ass. I mean, granted, I was dehydrated and nearly died that night, but I felt like I was gonna die. But still, it's humbling. You sit there for a minute and you're like, fuck, man, am I learning anything?
Yeah.
When this little dude just holds me down and beats my ass, am I learning anything?
I think you're learning a lot.
You're learning a lot, but that's what goes in your head. It goes in your mind for a minute. Like, you can't deny that. You ask yourself, fuck, am I any good at jiu-jitsu? But it's part of the it's just part of the whole process, so yeah, man, it's good shit.
That's the benefit. You go like, with relationships, since we're on this topic, and I'll beat a dead horse or whatever. I don't know why who would beat a dead, I don't know why that saying is that.
We're gonna have to look that up. Can maybe somebody can look it up for us and tell us, where did that originate? I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'm gonna say this again.
Yeah. Who would hit a dead, I don't know, but whatever. It's like, what do you bring with you to relationships that cause you to be angry and fight and hit and do all that shit, and for me, it's like, who are you? What do you show up to jiu-jitsu with? Like, what's amazing about jiu-jitsu is it's an equalizer, right? I think we've talked about that before, where it's like you start out with a white belt, and lately I've seen, because all I can really do to interact with jiu-jitsu right now is kind of watch videos, or watch like my, stuff from Rivalry Jiu-Jitsu, their Instagram page, like some guys that were white belts and they got their first stripe or they got their second stripe. It's really cool to see them grow, just like I've been growing, and progressing, through the stripes and stuff like that. And it really means something to them. And it's like, you show up and they give you a white belt that's nothing, like, nothing, you're a beginner, right? So because it's such an equalizer and everyone there supporting each other, and you have this equal training ground to improve each other and yourself, you get to approach life without all the baggage that you normally bring in other areas of your life. Because me being married, my wife wasn't there when all that stuff was happening to me as a child, or when I was a cop going through all the bad stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I got married after all that, so she wasn't present, but all that baggage comes with me. So it's, by marriage, it goes into her life too, because she's married to me and we have to work through our stuff, and do that together, which is a blessing. And I'm blessed to have her be there for me when I go through my stuff. But with jiu-jitsu, it's like you show up on a clean slate for once in life. No baggage, right? You could bring baggage if you want to be aggressive, but you'll have to work that out one way or another. But it's a really cool, like, metaphor, I guess, or idea that you can show up and begin at a starting line and begin to work forward without so much baggage in life. And you're not carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, so to speak. And you can begin to see yourself in a different light as you commit yourself to a discipline and show up day after day and fail and struggle and get your butt kicked by people that have been doing it longer than you, that know more technique and this, that, and the other. And it could humble you and let you know that, hey, today may be a bad day, and you may be struggling, and you may be angry, and you may be just pissed off and want to fight and have road rage and shit like that. But tomorrow's a new day, and I can start over and try again and pick myself up and work and do better. right? It gives you that idea so that you can respond instead of react. You can walk away. You can like, hey, tomorrow's a new day. I'll do a new class and I'll start over and I'll try, chip away at this difficulty and do a little better. Maybe I won't get choked as fast. Like when I first started rolling with coach, I'm like, man, I hope I can go 8 seconds. It's like, and then tomorrow, I hope I can get 9 seconds without him choking me out.
Yeah, man. There's definitely levels.
It's like, yeah. Oh, yeah. And so it's like, how long can I go without them just whooping my butt? How long can I survive, so to speak? And, it's fun. And that's how you should view life and relationships and things that are challenging where domestic violence might come up. It's like, hey, how can you give yourself more options? How can you give yourself like the idea of hope in progress? And, today may be tough, but tomorrow's a new day, man. Time heals everything. Like time will, time and circumstance will change everything, and things change and, maybe this relationship will end, but you can move on or whatever, we talk about this stuff all the time, you and me. So I really believe that about jiu-jitsu. It's a clean slate for people, where you can begin at step one with other people who are doing at step one with you. And you have, people there that are mentors and supportive and encouraging you and showing you the way as you progress.
Yeah.
Does that bring
right on. It's good shit, man. It's good shit.
Yeah.
So, there was something else I wanted to touch on before we go. We have time.
Oh, Sunday. Yeah, we're gonna try to go to that thing Sunday.
Oh
too.
yeah, a
That'll be
couple
fun.
things. Yeah, Sunday they're having, what is it, Grappler X, or it's a tournament they're having in Fresno
Yeah.
here on Sunday. Go check that out, man. That'll be fun. Sit
Yeah,
and watch
he's
some
competing at
jiu-jitsu.
both. He's competing both days, Saturday and Sunday, so he's a champ.
Oh yeah, so we'll go Sunday morning and check it out. That'll be fun. And then what else? We still got to get those guys. So now that you're feeling better, we'll get Steve and D. That'll be our first two guests. Steve, be ready, man. Steve, dude, he on Thursdays he goes to these salsa dancing events, and he finally put it up on. He just got Instagram and he just put it up on his story. I'm like, fuck, man, I gotta learn some. I gotta learn some goddamn salsa. That shit looks fun, man. This, ladies dancing everywhere. Steve's hiding the fucking good shit, man. And then someone asked me to. He's probably between, I think he's like 38. He trains, and he was asking what the and I could do this on another episode, but I don't know. What do you got going? I could do it right now too. He was just asking what the routine is to try to stay, in a good place physically. And I was just going to go over that really quick, and we can go into it more later, but I figure it could bring some value to somebody. I'm 41, and right now, man, I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. Dude, I just got those blood tests, and my testosterone went up 300 points from last year's test. So it's almost at 1,000 right now. So I'm got like 20-something-year-old fucking testosterone. I think that has to, ladies, be careful for
Yeah,
I'm coming, guys. But
in the hammer, like that question, like just biting everybody, just biting as he's
but he and I really think I can credit that to jiu-jitsu. I'm 41 and my testosterone is rising like by a lot. And I'm gonna have
becoming a zombie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to research that. I don't know why it's supposed to go down as you get older, but mine's like just skyrocketing and shit. So, but I think a lot of it is just besides forgetting to drink water, don't follow me on that. But a lot of it is just really paying attention to caring for ourselves. And I've talked about it before, but because of jiu-jitsu, man, I do like 30 to 40 minutes of like deep stretching and meditation every morning and every night. So before I get my day started, I do 30 minutes of stretching, a lot of hip stretching. I'll put on some meditation music. I'll put on some incense. I fucking make a very relaxing space. And then I'll just meditate and stretch and get deep into those stretches. And then I do the same thing at night after practice. I've obviously drinking a lot of water. And then the eating too. Eating is big, man. Like, I personally, I do intermittent fasting, and I don't eat until like the afternoon, and I'll eat a couple meals a day of as clean as I can eat. Try to stay away from sugar. Besides, the goddamn boba's been fucking me up, man. I when I got those blood results, I started researching boba, and in Taiwan, they fucking listen to this. In Taiwan, they had this thing where they banned boba because people were getting cancer because of it. Jesus. I was
That
like,
is
that's
not
it, bro.
that's
Your kidneys
not
can't.
like accredited by us though. Don't quote us on that shit. We
Yeah,
didn't
don't
research.
quote us, but that's what the fuck. I just saw all these articles about how
We're gonna get
Taiwan.
sued by every
Yeah,
boba company and shit. These motherfuckers talking shit about boba.
well, research that shit. What boba in Taiwan is fucking killing people. So, but if you think about it, think about it. Your kidneys are supposed to filter shit, and you're drinking those fucking little rubber things every night. Your kidneys got to have a hard time with that, man. So I'm done with boba. I apologize to all the boba people and the guy who slammed my car and all that shit. But I can't drink boba because it nearly killed me recently.
That's why he's all angry and shit. He drinks too much boba.
Yeah, it is why his kidneys are
He
working so
needs
goddamn
jujitsu.
hard.
Stop
Yeah.
drinking boba. I'm never
But
drinking that shit again. He said,
yeah.
I got my testosterone up now. I don't need that shit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need fucking boba. But well, it's right next to the gym too, every night it's right there, just but shout out real quick to T's Moment right next to Stronghold in Point Loma on Voltaire and Chatsworth Boulevard. Really nice lady. What's that?
Go get some cancer drink and boba.
Yeah, go get some boba and just don't drink too much of it or you'll fucking piss blood and die.
Oh god. Hey,
I
there's one of the guys at our academy. He has a acai bowl like place, the Rio bowls, I think it's called, here in Fresno. Delicious, man. Go
oh
get
really?
that shit. You could research that. That shit's good to go. I don't think you're gonna get cancer from that. That stuff
No,
delicious.
I fucks with acai bowls, man.
Yeah. We'll have
So
to go get some. Maybe we can go on Sunday. We can grab one maybe.
yeah,
Uh,
maybe after the tournament or something, or
yeah,
before. No, after probably.
but we're not
Yeah,
getting boba.
no,
No.
no boba, but acai bowls. Yeah, man, I'll fucks with those, man. There's some good ones out there. Um, there's one Carioca or something in Point Loma that just moved there by the gym too.
Yeah.
Really good one. If you're in San Diego, check that shit out, man. Really good stuff. But yeah, man. The basically you just to keep, my back hurts every day. Every day my back and my hips hurt. When I wake up, I can barely fucking walk. When I get done with training, I hadn't been smoking any weed for a while. I just take a break once in a while and from CBD and weed. But the other night when I had been training and dehydrated and then doing the sauna and lifting weights in the morning. I'm trying to figure out the flow of weights and jujitsu right now and how to feel good doing both of those. I just ordered that Whoop strap. So I'm trying to pay very close attention to my body. And the fuck, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the weed. Yeah, the weed is what made me lose my train of thought. But I did notice. So I was feeling really. I laid down and I couldn't sleep, even though I stretched. My body was hurting, and so I took a little hit of this strain called Blue Dream, and right away, man, my body. Right away, I've just felt my whole body, just all that pain, kind of just washed out of my body, and that was the first time that I felt because I hadn't been smoking, that I felt the marijuana really do its job as a medicine as far as my physical body. I usually use it as like a spiritual sacrament type of deal, for battling my goddamn ego and demons and shit. But really, man, if you're down for it, you should, get some CBD or some marijuana, help you with your recovery, and just eat good. Don't eat junk food, man. Don't eat fast food. Don't eat garbage. Cut sugar as much as you can from your life, and drink a lot of water and get your rest. And I'm pumped to get this Whoop strap. Maybe I'll talk about it on here because I got that cover too to do it during jujitsu, So, and you've talked about it before because you had it. I don't know if you're using it now, but it shows your recovery and how if you need to rest or not and that type of shit. So I'm pretty pumped about getting it next week. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Just take care of yourself. And if you have any questions, hit us up, man. Because my testosterone is rising fast because I take such good care of myself. So if you want the secrets, I could let me know. And maybe it's daily masturbation, man.
Yeah, you're just on steroids and not saying anything. You just
I'm not. I wanted to get TRT. I'm like, I hope my shit's low so I can get fucking I can get TRT. because
Nah,
TRT is really, you know, there's guys that abuse that type of shit, but really it's just it's a therapy that brings you down to like healthy levels of testosterone, brings you up to healthy levels of testosterone.
but
You
that's if
know,
your body isn't doing what it's supposed to do, which obviously your body can because you're putting it in good health, in a good environment, which is
yeah.
you're exercising, you're eating right, you're doing the things you're supposed to. Well, besides the boba and water. But other than
Mhm.
that, you're doing good stuff, and that lifestyle routines, we can talk about that more because we got to go in detail on it. But it's like, if you can't do it daily, it's probably not worth doing. If you're not drinking water daily, if you're not meditating, you got to find, just like jujitsu, if you're really training multiple times a week, it becomes a lifestyle. So everything should be lifestyle. Don't look at diets that are, oh, do this 8-day diet and you'll lose 17 pounds. Like, don't do that shit. It's not good for you. You got to treat your body the right way, and that's lifestyle. Lifestyle changes make the biggest difference. Jiu-jitsu is a lifestyle. It's a mindset. It's a community. It's a way you live your life. Just like self-mastery and self-discovery and self-development, the stuff philosophy, all this stuff, stoicism and all that. It's all about lifestyle. And if it's not about lifestyle, or it doesn't have some component that you do daily, like you're eating right daily, you're exercising daily, you're training, if not daily, almost, multiple times a week in jiu-jitsu, it changes your lifestyle. And those are the things you should really dig into and bring into your life, all the time. The more lifestyle, own your day, own your life, that book by Aubrey Marcus, that's a really good resource. He has his own way of looking at things and living, but daily lifestyle changes will make a huge difference in your life. Even if you're in pain, like I was hardly able to take walks because I was in so much pain with my back. It was really bad. And I know you've been there. And how you view yourself, the container that you are, like you look at yourself as fragile and broken and weak. That's how you show up in life. But when you make these lifestyle choices day in and day out, you begin to gain confidence in yourself, and your body begins changing, and you feel healthy. Your body responds in a healthy way. Don't do the medicine and all the medical stuff until there's no other option, right?
Mm.
If you haven't done the lifestyle changes, don't just run to the doctor and get shot up with TRT, just
Yeah.
because you want to, perform better. It's like, no. Change your lifestyle. Don't look for a shortcut,
Yeah. And
or drink boba. Either one.
yeah. Yeah. Don't fuck with boba. At least not 5 to 6 fucking days a week. Like once a month, get a fucking boba. But I was drinking that shit more than water, you know. Seriously,
That guy,
5 or 6 days a
probably
week.
pissed at you. He's like, this motherfucker doesn't stop coming to my place and drinking all my boba. Fuck him.
I know, man. So
Yeah.
the one thing about what you were saying too is you having that injured back, and I had the injured back too I mean, it still fucking hurts every day, man. Like when I get up every day, man, like there's never a time my back isn't like in pain, but the stretching and everything I'm doing at least minimizes it, and then your mindset has everything to do with how you're feeling as well, man. Like my mindset is I'm getting better. This shit hurts like a motherfucker, but it's not going to hurt like a motherfucker because I'm taking the measures to feel better. I'm always getting better, always feeling better. That should always be your mindset, not, oh, I got a fucking disc problem. I don't think I can work out. I'm just going to sit here. Yeah, it's getting worse. My back's hurting. I don't know. That negative fucking Eeyore bullshit. You can either approach life that way, or you can approach life like, man, I'm getting better. I'm always getting better. My shit's getting better, every day. And I believe that you, even just with your mind, you can heal yourself. I believe that if you keep the right mindset, you can heal yourself. We're powerful motherfuckers beyond anything that we've been, that we believe, that most people believe about themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. That's good
Well, I'm
shit.
glad we got to get this episode in, man. I miss chatting with you. I've missed doing this. I apologize to everyone about not doing it last week, but I physically just couldn't. I tried. I was trying to talk to you, and my eyes just hurt. Everything was hurting, and I just couldn't do it. And I think it was, a good example that I'm living into, as an example of, hey, you do have to rest and recover sometimes. And I hope that if you're injured or you're taking time off and you really want to get back and just force it, don't do it. Take the time you need to get better. Jiu-jitsu is not going nowhere. It's going to be a part of our life forever. And you don't have to go back and hurt yourself. And you got to think about your family and your health, and you got to be smart. Longevity is key. the longer we're in jiu-jitsu, the better human beings we become. So longevity, let's be in this for the long haul, let's, keep rolling until the belt turns black kind of thing. That's our mindset,
Yep, that's it,
Take
man.
care of yourself, drink your fucking water, stop drinking so much boba, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And let's appreciate the guys that ask questions. If you guys, I'm excited to get the guests, to chat with those guys and just keep going, man. Like I said, I'm going to be careful not to bang up my brain anymore, and hopefully we can, every week get this in there. So
yeah, man. And don't be, if you need to wear a helmet to practice, bro, just fucking do it, man. Like no one's gonna judge you for that shit. Like even if your kids got, like, your daughter or something got like one of those kids bike helmets, like with like the flowers on it and shit.
a pink Mickey Mouse helmet, I'm gonna wear that.
A little kitten one has kitten ears on top of it, bro. Fucking wear that shit. It's jujitsu, like no one's gonna care as long as you go in there and fight.
Lincoln, he has a mohawk helmet, like it's like
Yeah.
a black and green helmet with like green like plastic mohawk.
Imagine showing up with a serious face, just showing up to practice with that on your head.
Roll with this? What? Like I got a concussion. I'm trying to roll, fool.
Oh man, it's good shit. So anyhow, all right. Well, I guess we can kind of close it out from there, man.
Yeah, we'll be back next week, and we'll get those guys on, and then we'll keep building and rolling, and we'll keep going. I just, like I said, sorry about the concussion, but it put me out for 2 weeks now. So
yeah, so shit happens, man. And
it wasn't Boba that took me out. I'm just saying.
I know exactly. Be careful with that. I fucking sit in my bed. I'll wake up at night now and I'm like, I wonder if there's a lot of boba in my kidneys right now. Shit. I swear to God, I'm thinking that.
Those jelly balls in your stomach just
yeah,
not going nowhere.
Fuck, man. So yeah, be careful with that. But that's interesting. I'm gonna do some research on that. I might talk about it some more on the next show, like the actual research.
All these boba people are coming riot in front of our houses. Motherfuckers. Shit.
Banging our car doors with their car doors and shit.
Yeah, he's really gonna fuck up your car next time.
Yeah, just bang. Yeah.
Fuck you. I heard what you
said. Damn. Angry
enough
dude.
boba talk.
Yeah, right. Man. So all right, well, I'll see you on Sunday. More than likely, we'll figure out what time. We'll go watch that tournament. And yeah, other than that, hit us up at the Increaselife is where you can find me at the Will Dennis. If you have any questions or anything, man,
and we got the new logo coming. So.
Oh yeah, we got the logo, so we can start our Instagram page here pretty quick and start putting our stuff out there just to get stuff shareable type shit. Yeah,
get to sharing and like and subscribe and comment or leave a rating or review or whatever, please. That'll help. We got the logo coming. All you guys' support so far has helped. Share this podcast with guys that are in jiu-jitsu and starting out. Let's keep these white belts going. I know I needed you in my life to keep me going through the journey of being a white belt and learning jiu-jitsu, and let's support each other. Let's push each other. Let's get more people that are, moving past white belt, blue belts, purple, all this. The more we, more black belts in this world, the better the world will be.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. So yeah, I have the page up. I just haven't told anyone or shared it yet, but it's there. So it's at Soul Rollers, I think, or at Soul Rollers _JJ maybe. So go follow that, and we'll be putting like our video clips and some like cool memes and shit, like branded memes and stuff like that on there. Yeah. So just the vibe you have here, but in the form of like an artistic page. So check that shit out because you'll get some value from that. And yeah, leave reviews. We got a lot of people listening, but no motherfuckers are leaving reviews. It's easy to leave a review, like you want to like help us out, we're putting value out here. The least you could do is go to motherfucking iTunes or podcasts or whatever and leave a goddamn review. Shit. Fuck, can we get a goddamn review in this bitch?
Too much testosterone in it. The nice way of saying that is, hey, thank you for all the encouragement. If you got, time to leave a review, we appreciate it from the deepest part of our hearts. We love you guys. Can't wait to roll with you. All the guys competing this weekend. I'm excited to watch you guys compete. D, you're a beast. Keep it up, man. I'm rooting for you. You got this. Ryan brown belt, he's competing. I'm excited for that. I think Josh is competing. So all the guys competing from Rivalry, let's go. You guys are doing great. I'm proud of you guys. Can't wait to see you. I missed you guys a ton the last couple of weeks. So
yeah.
Podcast, man.
Everybody competing. Good luck. Oh, well, my daughter's competing tomorrow. She probably won't hear this shit. She don't listen, but my older daughter's competing tomorrow in Las Vegas at the American Nationals Nogi. So
Nice.
she's a blue belt. So we'll see
Dang.
how that's fun to watch. I'll watch that on Flow. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
yeah, man. Let's do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for your time,
So
brother. Thanks for doing this. Sorry about the couple weeks. It's,
you got it, man. I miss your bookcase, bro. You're gonna have to put like a plant by that fucking Buddha head or something, man.
I'm gonna
You know what I'm
change
saying?
all of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're changing this whole room for
Oh,
the
really?
my
Okay.
wife having a baby. So
Oh, yeah. You have like some butterfly
priorities.
little, yeah, right on.
Yeah, it's my little
I like that. I love that thing in the back. It's dope. I think, yeah.
I
So
love that stuff. I went to Thailand and dude, that stuff is so the energy it puts out in you walk around and see that stuff, the temples and stuff there. Man, peaceful, man. I love it.
I bet, man, I got to get out there. Those civilizations out there much have been around much longer than what we
Yeah.
experience here, a few hundred years, you know. They've been around for thousands of years, you know.
Don't get me started,
So
man. I love it. Yeah.
yeah. So anyhow, all right. Well, we'll call it. We'll call it until next week. Hopefully, maybe we can get Steve on the next one or D or both of them next week. Whatever. We'll try to work that out. And then yeah, man. Oh, and one last goddamn thing. The if you've made it this far, we're probably the only two motherfuckers who made it this far. But if you made it this far, there's two things. We appreciate it. Number one, and number two, you should leave a goddamn review. You made it this far, leave a fucking review. But and if you don't know how, ask one of us. You know, it's some people don't know how to leave reviews. Some people don't even know what a fucking podcast is still. I'm learning. So, but I also have another podcast called the Increaselife, and it's I call it a guide to personal freedom. I talk to some really cool motherfuckers on there, life coaches, you know, authors, spiritual teachers, speakers. I speak to William on there in another context. And season 2 is going to be dropping. So that's also on iTunes and Spotify. So definitely subscribe to that. Check it out. It's powerful, inspirational shit that, you know, if you have a big vision for your life, you know, it's something you want to listen to because I'm putting it out for you. So yeah, man, that's about it. So,
All right.
all right, William.
No
Good
Boba.
talking to you. No Boba, Soul
Big Boba.
Rollers. The Instagram at Soul Rollers _JJ. Go follow that shit. And we'll be putting up content soon. So, all right, William. Take care, man. Good conversation. I'll see you Sunday, man.
Yep. Hell yeah.
That's cool.
Love
All
you,
right.
man.
Yeah. Love you, dude. See you, man. Later.